visuals, and welcome back, channel, and welcome back to Superhero Wednesday, the day of the week we would like to get oh so damn right down and dirty with nerdy. I butch that. Superhero Wednesday, where we like to rank stuff. Sometimes we change that word and add a double at the W at the start. Preferably men dressed as Green Lantern. Fuck am I on about? Or sometimes we just flex Lego, or we give you our top 10s, or like last few weeks, was it last few weeks? We do who's the best counterpart from DC and Marvel. We do Funko. We do nerdy shit, because nerdy shit's the fucking best, whether you're an amateur nerd or a hardcore. An episode 44 of Star Trek, when Captain Kirk went skibidi-bidi-boo, he set his laser to stun. Or if you're just like, I like lightsaber, they're cool as fuck. Whichever side of the nerd spectrum, or however far you're on, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome, to be fair. We're a very small channel, so anybody's welcome. Apart from Sunderland fans, you guys can go fuck yourselves. You are a really cool sound nerd, then I guess we can put football to one side. Talk about how sexy Spider-Man is, and then you can fuck yourself. Speaking of Spider visuals, I thought we would do a cool little video on my 5 favourite Spider-Man villains of all time. I guess lists always subject to change, but this has been my top 5 Spider list. Probably in most of my life, near enough most of my life, to be fair, actually. Yeah, the good majority of my life anyway, apart from... No, that might have, number 2 might have been a bit different at one stage. Anyway, so please let me know your favourite Spider-Man characters, or just villains, or whatever of all time. Because Spider-Man is blessed with a beautiful rogues gallery, just like Batman. They've both got colourful, over-the-top, wacky and crazy, and such iconic villains. They're very much counterparts in that respect. Because the world of Spider-Man is so vastly rich, with a pool of villain talent to choose from, I thought, yeah, let's do a top 5 Spider-Man villains of all time, because it might be quite fun. So visuals, let's shut the fuck up, and let's roll straight into number 5. That like a fucking idiot. At number 5, we've gone for Craven the Hunter. Craven the Hunter is one of the more very unique villains that we see for Spider-Man. There's a great version of him on the Spider-Man 2 video game. So if you've not got really much of an insight into who Craven is, it does quite a good job of who he is, where he's from, why he does what he does, all about the hunting stuff. And as well, I don't know if the film would probably do it true justice, because we don't know how good it's going to be. There is a film coming out in like 4, 5, maybe 6 months. Of Craven the Hunter, but Craven has been there for some really big Spidey moments, especially at one point donning the black suit and stuff. Craven is such an awesome, unique, badass villain, because he's literally purely there for the sake of the hunt and stuff. Yes, there's been different, you know, the story's gone in a few different directions and a few different whatnots here, there and everywhere. But ultimately, I love the fact that Craven's this guy that wants all these trophies for his wall, you know, whether it be... I mean, I don't love it because it's horrible, because fucking killing animals is disgusting. But I love that he's got someone like this that Spidey can fucking put his fist through his face, and, you know, we can take out our own animal frustrations for feeling fucking horrible for them, for being abused and tortured. And we can take them out on Craven as Spider-Man's punching his head in. Yeah, he's this trophy hunter that wants all of these trophy animals and stuff on his walls. And, you know, I've hunted this, I've hunted the baddest thing from Africa, the baddest thing from Australia. I've hunted all these badass animals, but I haven't got my hands on a spider. I haven't got the spider. And it's fun to see this use of sometimes over-the-top gadgets. Sometimes it's just pure down to mano-a-mano fighting combat skills, or Craven's weapons against Spider-Man's tech and stuff. So many different stylistic points. So much different styles have gone into Craven throughout the years, but ultimately he's remained relatively the same, sort of like the leopardy sort of print. Usually it's the waistcoat thing with the maned hood and that kind of stuff, or not the hood, but the maned collary bit with a spear and stuff, and a necklace of like teeth and shit on it. They usually mostly look the same, more often than not anyway. And I just think it's a fun, awesome villain, a new, instead of somebody that's a symbiote or a guy on a glider, or an animal itself like a rhino or whatnot. Even though sometimes Rhino's just in an outfit, sometimes he's in a metal suit. sometimes it's not just this crazy, wacky sci-fi thing. It's just a horrible little bastard that likes to hunt. And I think he's a cool, well-rounded, very in-depth, very deep character with a lot of history there. So Craven is number 5. 4, arguably one of the most iconic Spider-Man villains, one of the most iconic Marvel villains of all time. It is Doc Ock. Again, we've seen it recently in the video game stuff. We saw Sam Raimi's Doc Ock played by... It will come back to us in No Way Home. We saw him more specifically in Spider-Man 2. What hasn't Doc Ock and Spider-Man been through? So many classic encounters, from the cartoons to some of the best Spider-Man comic books I've ever read, to video game stuff like we mentioned, with some of the most unique and crazy and different designs. Where sometimes he'll be a bit more chubby and nerdy, sometimes he'll be a bit more brawn and stuff and a bit more sturdy. The iconic costume I always remember is the crazy, what I've always called Austin Powers glasses with the yellow bit and the green outfit and whatnot. Proper mad scientist vibe. The story between Doc Ock, Otto Octavius and Peter Parker itself is another unique story and a great story. The whole thing of marrying Aunt May and whatnot. There's been so many memorable and historic times and moments in Spider-Man's past, and Doc Ock has been a part of so many of them. He's an awesome, amazing, badass villain. I guess if I would have to say... Do you know what? This is a bold statement, right? But I think it might be recency biased because, you know, the Spider-Man games are amazing. I think that might be my favourite version of Doc Ock. I know it was one video game, but I fucking loved it. I guess maybe it's because we were really playing. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. I don't know why I'm chatting shit like this. My favourite incarnation of Doc Ock is not technically Doc Ock. It's got to be the Superior Spider-Man. I love the Superior Spider-Man. It was all about where Doc Ock put his mind in Peter Parker's body and whatnot, and he becomes Spider-Man. He become the Superior Spider-Man, and that was an awesome. It's just they've recently not long had it come out again. Anyway, have they? And it was such a fucking awesome book to read. Did it get to like 30 issues? Maybe pushing 40. There was a lot of issues and it was fucking awesome and it was absolutely amazing. That's my favourite version of Doc Ock, even though it's technically Spider-Man. Is Green Goblin. Now, there's not much to say on Green Goblin. We know the classic things with Green Goblin, the Gwen Stacy stuff, the classic covers, the iconic look, Norman Osborn, Oscorp, Harry Osborn, anything Osborn related is synonymous with Spider-Man. And the Green Goblin is, without a shadow of a doubt, the Spider-Man or Spider-Man's version of the Joker. Batman, Joker, Spider-Man, Green Goblin. Even though he's not my favourite villain of all time, he's definitely his main villain. That's the duo. That's the two sides of the same coin and whatnot. But again, like Doc Ock, like Craven, there's been some fantastic memories there from films, from games, from comic books, from the shows and whatnot. There's been some awesome variations of the Green Goblin looking, whether it be a suit or whether it be looking more like his actual skin and whatnot, looking more goblin-y, the purple sort of hood, the satchel, pumpkin bombs being one of the most famous things to come from Marvel Comics in terms of weapons and stuff. Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, how they come about as well is so iconic. This Spider-Man 1, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, absolutely outstanding. The way that he portrayed him in, especially the first film, and well, it's only in the first film and then No Way Home. But in the first film, the way that he's talking to himself, kind of, but as the Green Goblin Green Goblin from the mind into Norman Osborn, then taking on the suit and whatnot. The glider, everything about it's just so legendary and iconic with Spider-Man and Spider-Man comics. He's a fucking amazing villain. Not one of the best Spider-Man villains of all time. One of the best villains of all time, period. Next up, it's a bit of symbiote shenanigans, and it's Carnage. Anybody that knows me knows I absolutely adore anything symbiote related in the world of Marvel Comics, in the world of Spider-Man. And Carnage is foul-taxing. It's fantastic. I loved as well Venom 2. I thought it was great, and I loved it, that version of Carnage. But maximum Carnage, minimum Carnage, all the weird, beautiful, wonderful shit we've seen going on. His fights with Toxin, his fights with Venom, his fights with Spidey, his fights with so many people. Red Goblin, so many awesome variations, adaptations, and whatnot of who the Carnage is. But it's not just the symbiote Carnage itself, it's Cletus Cassidy underneath it all. How already sick and twisted and sadistic and psychotic and mega sociopath and all this kind of shit of who he really is, being infused and embedded and entwined with the symbiote and becoming Carnage is just a thing of absolute nightmares and carnage and horrifying scenes and craziness. And when it is a symbiote versus symbiote fuck up, amazing. I can't wait. Seeing as we've spoken about the second game, I can't wait to explore more of what's happening with the Carnage stuff in the games, whether it be in the form of DLC or in the third game or what, I don't know. But I can't wait to explore that. He looks, if you love Venom, you love Carnage. He's a bit more skinnier and sleek, but with I think he's got a bigger, vast array of weaponry, but it's the sharp claws, it's the daggering of his nail, well, not nail, but claws, like I said, stabbing in, it's the rottenness of the teeth. And we have the busts down there, we've flexed the bust before. It's the black on the red. His tongue's not usually as venomy and whatnot, but his teeth are a bit more monster-like and what it kind of has a Liquor from Resident Evil sort of vibe, kind of teeth. I think, if I remember what they look like correctly. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan, but I think they've got big, like, crazy sort of dominant teeth and all that shit. But just an amazing, beautiful, badass villain of how Carnage come about, you know, being a part of the Venom family tree and stuff. Amazing, beautiful, fantastic villain, just scary as fuck. And what a great counterpart, you know, Spider-Man being the, hey, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, chuck some webs, hey, look, there's a guy dressed as Rhino, let's have a fight, to psychotic, murderous Cletus Cassidy covered in symbiote, let's cause absolute havoc and hell. Just what a combination. Number one may come to a shock to nobody, because if you know me and you're long-term viewers of the channel, you know this is my second favourite comic book character of all time. It is Venom. Kind of like the same sort of reasons that go along with Carnage about my love for symbiote-related stuff. But obviously, more importantly, this one about how during Secret Wars and all that carry on, how Spidey got into first come in contact with the symbiotic suit. Then we saw the change of Spidey, a bit more aggressive, the way that Venom was enhancing him and whatnot. Then dawning a life of its own. One of the biggest things as well when I think about Venom is, as much as the Sam Raimi's third film and Venom himself from that was slated and heavily criticised, I do love the bell scene. I do love where Peter's trying to rip it all off and you see him and the bell rings and you see it sort of come off his face and do his I think that's one of the best symbolic representations, or, you know, symbolisms, whatever, one of the greatest images we've got representing Venom. I think it looks so fantastic. But yeah, Venom as a whole, so, sorry for repeating myself, but I thought we had one of the best Venom interpretations ever in that second video game we got. He was fucking phenomenal in that. So many different stages and forms, and, you know, sometimes we've had Venom looking like he's on steroids, sometimes we've had a bit more sleek and smooth thing. And the voices, like, I love Tom Hardy's voice for, you know, Eddie. I love that version of Venom. The only thing with that version of Venom is I want to see more on the chest. Obviously, we don't have a spider symbol there because we don't have a spider currently as it stands in Venom's verse, Venom films 1 and 2. Well, there might be a spider somewhere, Andrew Garfield and whatnot, but we haven't been introduced yet, so Venom hasn't then been on the suit to make his own symbol and whatnot. But that iconic white symbol on the slimy back, black, sometimes purpley, sometimes black with the blue highlights and whatnot. Costume, so iconic, so recognizable, so fucking beautiful. And not just that, but the poses, the posture, the look, with the tongue, with the slather. We comic book fans and just fans and alike around the world know who Venom is, know what it's all about. That smile, the teeth, who he is, what he looks like. And I don't think anybody out there can say they don't at least like Venom somewhat a little bit. I think most people like Venom, surely, but he is literally the greatest villain of all time for me. Amazing, outstanding, beautiful, awesome, and my number one Spidey villain. Go visuals, my favourite Spider-Man villains of all time. Please let me know yours in the comments below. Who would you have chucked in there? Are you a Rhino guy? Are you a Scorpion guy? Shocker, Electro? So many to choose from the world of Spider-Man. Like I said, his Rogues Gallery is absolutely stupidly beautiful. If you want to hear your favourite, even if it's just villains from anybody in general, from Cyborg villains to Flash villains to Captain America villains to Spider-Man, whoever you want to do. And we should do this again maybe as well. We should do this again sometime. It's like we've just been on a date and I thought it went really well and you're like, no, this was horrible. I don't want to see you again. I'm like, we'll do this again. We'll do this again. Yeah. Hopefully we will do this again, visuals, because that was quite fun. We can do it. Batman's obviously a good shout to do it for. Batman's probably a bit harder because I've already got my standouts for Spider-Man. Like I know Venom and Carnage are definitely in there. Green Goblin's definitely in there. The only one that I might push out from time to time, the more I think about it, or depending if I've read something recently with a minute or whatnot, is probably someone like Mysterio. I do love Mysterio, and I love the whole vibe and whatnot there. He's the only one that might bounce in and out with maybe Craven and stuff. But no, as it stands, I'm going to stick with my 5. Definitely the top 4 anyway. It's just 5 that might go back and forward. But visuals, like I said, more importantly, please let me know yours in the comments below. Apart from that visuals, thank you so much for watching. You guys are literally the fucking best. I love it when we do this Superhero Wednesday crack on Spider-Man because I can always end the videos, because we always end it how we do on Superhero Wednesday anyway. But when we're doing a Spider-Man related thing, it means even more because visuals, thanks for watching. You guys are literally the best. Always keep being you and keep on web slinging on.